So we know we want to be doing certain things, and yet we can't get ourselves to do them. So how is it we could go from procrastinating to being productive? Because at the end of the day, we all want to be doing things with our lives, and not necessarily for the sake of doing things. Like we just want to be successful. We want to see certain results. We want to believe that we can achieve certain goals, and really just make sure that we can do what it is that we want. And for some reason, we just don't allow ourselves. We get so stuck with everything else that's going on. It was interesting. I was just making a video today, and it was a more behind the scenes look in terms of one of the ways that I create presentations. And even while I was doing the presentation, I saw that I was editing the document that I was working on, but like things that like really didn't matter for the document's sake. So like just underlining certain categories or just like bolding certain words that had nothing to do with the presentation that I was giving. And on the call, I was like, on the recording, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally just procrastinating because I don't know what it is that I'm going to say. And therefore, I'm going to be just doing other things. And we find it so much throughout our days that we want to be doing certain things and we can't get ourselves to do them because we, for some reason, are just so stuck. So we're going to talk about a few different things that we can start to do. And the reason why this idea triggered me today is because I was talking to a client today, and he was telling me how he is so frustrated. He just started a new semester, and he really wants to be productive in this semester in school. And it's so interesting because he has such a desire, he has such a want, I would say. He has such a want to succeed. He wants to be productive. And we were talking about, I was trying to coach him through what it is that he was going through. And it's interesting because on the one hand, he wants to be so productive. On the other hand, he just can't get himself to like take the action, can't get himself to like do what it is that he wants to be doing. So what is it that he can start to do to allow himself to become more productive? And we were going through this phase of like trying to figure out what's going on. And I felt like that he just wasn't getting deep enough. He was being so like on the outside, so like classic. So he's saying, I know he should be. I know I'm never gonna have this time again. I know that I need to focus. I know these are all skills that I want to be building. And he was pretty much writing the textbook in terms of like what everybody says when it comes to productivity. But I kept going at it because I felt it was so important for him to be able to just pick up on what it was that he was really going through. And it was one of the first times that he's been being coached, and he doesn't realize that like that like letting go of that feeling or that emotion or that thought or that belief that you're having is the thing that's going to set you free. And I was so proud of him because as we kept going, I saw that he started to realize maybe what was going on. And he realized that the reason why he's been procrastinating, the reason why he doesn't find it enjoyable or fun, is because he said it was very hard for him, that I'm not good at it. And it was so powerful because for so many of us, we want to be doing something. We want to be a great parent. We want to be great in our businesses. We want to be healthy, whatever it might be in your life that you want to be productive in. You want to do it, but sometimes it's not about the productivity. It's not about the routine. It's about the belief that we have, the expectations that we're putting on ourselves to achieve a certain result. And if we could just be realistic with ourselves and stop lying to ourselves and saying, no, this thing is tough. This thing that I want to do right here, I'm not good at it. And because I'm not good at it, I keep making all these other excuses and of why I'm not succeeding, and not just succeeding of the results, but I'm not even attempting to do the thing that I know I should be doing. That could change so much. And I don't think all of us, but a lot of us are just lying to ourselves. And we don't even know it because we say what we're supposed to say. The student that I was speaking to was saying everything he was supposed to say, but I'm like, your story is the exact same story as every other person. And if you had to write a textbook in terms of why you're procrastinating, you're saying everything, there has to be something different. What is unique about your situation? And until he had that light bulb moment where it came out that he said, I'm just not good at studying. I'm not good in the subjects that that I want to be good at. He didn't realize that it was something bigger than that. And I think for all of us, we have certain things in our lives that we want to be doing. And for some reason, we can't do it. We want to be successful, but we just can't pull ourselves to be able to become successful. And the reason why is not because of the success, not because of the result, but because of the actions we're not allowing ourselves to take. But if we think about it, and I love using either sports or like working out as an example, because those are like areas in your life that you can see real results by just putting in a little bit of time. So when we're going to the gym and you want to believe that you can lift 100 pounds or whatever it might be, 100 pounds, for example, and you go there, you're like, I can lift 100 pounds. And then you go and you're like, I can't lift 100 pounds. And you get the feedback a lot quicker. It's not like, oh, I went to the gym and like I could have lifted 100 pounds. I just didn't do it because like for whatever reason, like I wasn't ready for it, or somebody was using the machine. We just convince ourselves that we're not able to do the thing that we want to be doing. And if we could start to put into our lifestyle, say, hey, this thing that I'm trying to do is difficult, and therefore I'm not able to do X, Y, and Z. Because I'm not able to do it, then I'm going to start to procrastinate. And personally, I was recently going through this. So there's a new part of my business that I'm looking to start. So it's a community aspect of really helping, just coaches, experts, and thought leaders be able to amplify their impact and really help them with their message that they're trying to get out to, number one, help them with their message, and number two, help them with their businesses. And what's interesting is that one of the directions that I want to start to learn about is Facebook and Instagram ads. Like that's something that I want to start to learn about. And I had zero idea about anything, and everybody who you speak to about ads like freak you out about it, because like you're going to waste so much money, and you're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to just like figure it out, and maybe then you might not even figure it out. And it's true that there are people who are wasting so much money, but for me, that's not going to help serve me to move forward. So when I just like try to sign up even for my Facebook ads, and I have no idea what's going on, and there's so many different like tabs and different places that I could click on. So all of that scares me, and it's the unknown. And because I'm stepping into the unknown, the last thing I want to do is to take the action to move forward, to click on the next button. So for me, I just end up distracting myself. I try to work on my business, or I try to, do more lives, or I try to do whatever it might be, come up with more content. But really what I'm doing is I'm just procrastinating. I know the next thing I need to do is learn Facebook ads. And that's why I made it a mission of mine after this past holiday to sit and figure out Facebook ads. And I gave myself KPIs, and I gave myself certain actions that I need to be taking every single week in order to be able to hit those. I'm not giving myself a time limit on it. It could happen in 3 weeks. It could happen in 3 months. It could happen in 3 years, whatever it might be. But I'm doing the steps that I believe are necessary in order to learn this specific skill. And then guess what? After that skill, there's going to be another skill. And after that, there's going to be another skill, and another and another. And what is interesting is that we all have things that we need to start to figure out. And if we could put in situations in our own life to help people figure out, how is it that I can work on this thing? How can I be productive? How can I not be scared of this? Then what could really happen is that we could start to move forward and take advantage of what it is we're looking to do. So ask yourself, what is really holding you back? Why are you really procrastinating? Because you know why you're procrastinating. And nobody else could take that from you. And guess what? You might be able to speak to a friend, you might be able to speak to a parent, or even a coach, and you might be able to say everything they want to hear, or everything that makes sense. But when the doors close and you got your journal out, and you just got to figure, like, what the heck is going on? Like, why can't I figure this out? Like, why can't I get myself to take the action? And there's not a force field there. It's our own beliefs that are holding us back. And if you want to make that shift to become productive, you need to figure that reason out. And it's why like the deepest and the hardest parts about our own personal development and our own growth is really being honest with ourselves. What am I not good at? What am I scared of? Who am I scared to reach out to? What result am I scared of? Why am I so scared of failure? And ask yourself these questions, because by understanding these questions, then we have the ability to figure out, okay, these are the steps that I need to take. It might be scary, and I might need to get that support. For me personally, I wanted the support with the ad. So I found somebody to help support me with that. So now I'm not alone in it. I have accountability. I have somebody I can speak to and ask questions to. And guess what? I'm paying for that, because I realize if I don't do that, then I'm not going to have anybody in my corner, and I'm just going to keep learning and wasting my time and wasting my money. And that's what most people do. And that's why most people say ads don't work, or you're going to waste thousands of dollars. But that's not true. So when I have 100 people that signed up for my stuff that I'm giving out, like that's results based on 2 weeks of work. And it's like, okay, I got results ready. Let me get 200. Let me get 500. Let me get 1,000. And I'm going to keep pushing and keep learning and keep growing in this area. And all that's happening is that my mind is every time next step forward is like, hey, buddy, this is new territory for you. Don't do it. You're real you. And because of that, it's petrifying. But just the belief that I've had this idea that's been holding me back and letting me move forward and help me push myself to take advantage of what it is I want to take advantage of. So ask yourself, what is it holding you back? What is it that you can start to do? And next, realize that regardless of what's happening, sometimes we still need to take the action. If you want to be able to lift 100 pounds in the gym, you need to start with the 20s or the 30s. And you need to just do it until you get there. Because what happens, and what's really, really cool about it, is that once you start to see some success, it get really addicting. And you start to realize, wow, as I put in the work, I could take action and I could to see results. Then all of a sudden you have this ability, these ideas to be able to work on different things in your life. So regardless of whether you're feeling it or not, regardless, I don't know why I'm not being productive. If you can start to take the action, you can start to see the results and give yourself results. And this is what I talk about in goal setting. Like if you're setting yourself a goal, make yourself a goal that you control. Don't make yourself a goal that is not tangible or reliant on other people. What does it start to do? For me, it's a new set of ads every single week. That's my goal. As a result, I want to get 1,000 people signed up for my email list. That's really my goal. I can't control how many people sign up for my email list, but I can control how many emails or how many ads I run. And that's my goal. So what is it? What is your goal? My goal is to grow my business. Okay, so what does that mean? Is it the number of people buying? Well, you can't necessarily control people buying your product. Can I be the best product in the market? Maybe. What does that mean? What does that look like? You want to be able to be a better parent and you want to be able to have those relationships with your kids. What does that look like? What is the goal of being a good parent mean? Getting frustrated the second I walk into the door after like meatballs get thrown in my face? Or that like literally every one of my shirts that I wear now gets like ruined every single night and I have to like wear like a smock every night because like I'm just getting filthy. And what we have to try to figure out is like if we could get specific with what it is we want, then we could start to achieve it. And most people are just, they just don't know. They're directional with their goal. They know they want to have good relationships. They know they want to be successful in business, which is a good start. But if you want to get serious, if you really want to make that shift, you have to start to move forward. You have to like look to move just a little bit more to be able to take advantage of what it is you want to do. Where are you getting stuck? What are your goals? What clarity can you start to get? And we don't need to know the exact destination, but get more clear. Understand, you know what? I want to be a great parent, but I get frustrated with my kids. I don't want to be frustrated anymore. I'll work on the loving and I'll work on the being, strict and all this other stuff. I don't want to get frustrated anymore. What can I do to work on that? And then once we realize these baby steps, then we could start to recognize, hey, you know what? I can do X, Y, and Z. I could read a book. I could listen to a podcast. I could work on these different areas of my life. And then we have the ability to start to seize that success because once I'm able to come home and I don't have to get frustrated after my kid throws a meatball at me, then I'm like, wow, I'm not getting frustrated anymore. I've been really working on this. Yeah, it took me 6 months, but guess what? It's worth it. Because 6 months ago, if you would have told yourself, hey, I wish I would have been working on that thing. I wish I'd been able to work on my sales in my business or my marketing in my business. I wish I would have been able to start that diet or that way of life that we want to call it, right? You don't call it a diet now, right? It's a way of life. I wish I would have started that 6 months ago. Then guess what? Then you wouldn't have been able to do the thing that you wanted. So what are those steps? What are the pieces in your life that you need right now to be able to take that next step? Because that one step is going to lead to a next and the next and the next. And that is where we're looking for. That is what we're looking to grow. So what is it that we're trying to do to see that success? And once we see that, then we have the ability to start to move forward. We start to get the goals. We start to really take the action with what it is that we want to take action with. We start to see the success and we start to see the productivity within our days because most people love the idea of being productive. But if you're being like, you can be productive, spinning a wheel. But if it's not with what you want, then like, who cares? Why are you wasting your time with that? People can be very, very productive, but with the wrong thing. Get clarity with what you want. You want to be productive with the right things. You want to be able to take the action. We can't be stuck anymore. We can't be lying to ourselves anymore. Because guess what? It's your life. It's literally nobody else, and nobody else is going to care as much as you. And the only one who's going to be frustrated is you. What is that you can start to do? What is it that you can start to really make happen when it comes to the success that you want? I'm telling you, this stuff is life-changing. Somebody asked a question. So their goal is to teach art class to kids and to pursue digital illustration, like build up my website, but I'm doing everything but that for the past few years. Okay, exactly. So people have goals that they're setting, that they know what their goal is, but they're doing literally everything else. And the reason why is because they're procrastinating. Like, what is it that we can start to do to get ourselves on point with that? Where is it that we can go? How is it we can get ourselves in the right place to be able to move forward and take the action that we want? Because once we have that ability, then we have the reason to go forward. Then we have, you know what? Okay, even though I'm not necessarily taking the action, but I have a goal, now something has to shift. I have to do something different. What's that next step that I can start to move forward with? Right. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to answer. And if you are on Spotify, make sure to follow YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. We'll see everybody on the next one.